Good morning. Oh, never mind, Francis. I'll be in Berlin. We'll be watching on catch up. Number 7, please. Got your votes in, though, didn't you? Priorities there, Francis. Good morning. I hope you're having a lovely time in Berlin. How is everybody? It's been a lovely, lovely weekend. Wow. What's happening here? And why can't I correct it? There we go. I'll never get the hang of this mirror thing. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You can get in early like Francis and give me a vote for what tutorial you would like today. Hi, Nikki. How are you? So Francis is in there with a number 7 all the way from Berlin. Lucky 7 from Berlin. Anyway, good morning. I'm Gemma Crow, jewellery maker, designer, teacher, demonstrator, author. And I am doing a regular Monday natter, just basically mojo boosting, telling you what I'm up to, what's coming on this week, hopefully give you some inspiration or some tips, or maybe you can share in the journey of anything new that I'm doing too. And what else? And we do a mini mystery make. So you have to vote. I have a box here with 10 compartments numbered. And in each compartment is a little demonstration that I can show you. So you vote and I pick the one with the most votes and I demonstrate that. And sometimes I can't even remember what I've put in there. So it can be a bit of a surprise for all of us. Right, 5 for Nikki. Good morning, Sylv. How are you doing? I'm sorry I didn't see your message on Wednesday. I was pretty flat out last week. It's been a really busy week. I seem to have taken on lots of projects at the moment, all very exciting, but all coming together at the same time. Hello, Leslie. I'm here, but away in the caravan and sitting in a hot tub at the moment, so might not comment, but watching. Oh, I'm not jealous at all. A hot tub, a beautiful day to be in a hot tub. Well, it is here anyway. It's cold, crispy, cold. It was a frost this morning. People coming in saying they had to scrape their cars. The fields were white when I walked Willow today. It's complete unbelievable. Yesterday was so lovely and warm and sunny, and then today, complete contrast, really chilly. And I went out with my coat on, and I thought, you know, I think I need a scarf. It was really cold. So here we are. We've gone from summer to winter, like just overnight. Anyway, I would love to be sat in a hot tub. That sounds gorgeous. We came very, very close this weekend to buying a camper van, but sadly, I don't think it's to be. It's just too small, and there's cozy, and there's, you know, on top of each other. Like literally, the bed was only wide enough for us to lie like that on our sides together. So, but it would have been ideal, really. Nice little camper just to escape, you know, for a night. Every weekend, or not every weekend, but you know, just to get away, or be able to just go off for longer and have your van to make a cup of tea in, or just, you know, chill out in for a bit. Especially with the dog, it's nice to have that sort of bolt hole, isn't it? But it wasn't to be this time. However, Chris went all the way to Gloucester on Friday to see this camper van, which we were really quite excited about, and a bit disappointed now. But never mind, the right one will come. We're looking for a Roma home. So if anybody knows of one going, let us know. Good morning, Joe. What else did we get up to this weekend? Oh, it was I just put a picture actually in Mojo. It was our 100th, the village hall, the memorial hall here in Bugthorpe. It was the 100th birthday. And so there was a party, a big party from 2 in the afternoon with afternoon tea, and it was lovely. All vintage teacups and plate stands and bunting, 932 buntings, triangles, and that one guy in the village stitched them all together. We've had like several village meetings where we've all come and sewn triangles, but then David over the road has stitched all of them onto strings, every single one himself, and then the hall was decorated with those. It looked spectacular, just honestly, I've never seen so much bunting in one place. It looked amazing. And they laid the tables out in the same way that they were laid out 100 years ago for the opening. And everybody dressed 1920s style. And it was lovely. There was a saxophonist and a vintage, an old record player, you know, with the trumpet. It sounded so authentic and looked so authentic. It was lovely, really lovely. Sadly, it absolutely tipped it down all day long. And I mean, it really tipped it down. And the wind was blowing all the umbrellas inside out. It was the most ghastly day. Honestly, awful. It was lovely the day before, lovely the day after, but the day of the 100th party was awful. But they did have a marquee, and so nobody had to be out in the rain or anything, but it was just getting to and from was terrible. Anyway, and it just is such a shame that the day before and the day after was just totally different. But yeah, Chris and I ended up staying very late, having lots and lots of wine and sampling everybody's homemade gins. We were a little worse for wear yesterday, so spent the day on the sofa watching. I think we managed to get through 5 films yesterday. It was lovely, but a great weekend, and it was nice to get creative making 1920s. I made a 1920s headband, and we went to the secondhand shops and found Chris found a hat, and then he put some feathers in it, and a cravat, and I found a pleated skirt. Yeah, it was lovely. It was really nice, really good fun. It is a beautiful day. We'll have to leave about 10:45, doctor's appointment. Oh, okay, Linda. All right, well, we'll try not to go too much further than 10:45. Yeah, it was a shame, Nick, but it did keep everybody inside and together, and the atmosphere was lovely. You know, there's that sort of sense of everybody pulling together and doing it against the odds, you know. So it was a very 1920s feel, I suppose, in that way. But so much work gone in by the committee, work into it. It was amazing, really, quite a thing to pull off. So it was lovely. There's only over 70 tickets sold, so it also raised a bit of money for the hall too, which is great. Really, really lovely. And tombola, we won a quiche, which we very much enjoyed yesterday. What have you been up to? Did you manage to find the dates? Nick, I'm having a problem with that. I've got to admit, there is one way that I might be able to do it, but I'll have another go. I'm really sorry. I did actually. I went to do it straight away the other day. Realised I couldn't find it, and then thought I'll come back and try the other way, and then completely forgot. So I'm so sorry, Nick. I will have a look when I finish here. I'll write it down. Daisy. There we go. Wrote it down. I won't forget. What else? I've got a workshop on Thursday this week. It's the donuts one. It was rescheduled from last month. So if you missed out because you couldn't do it last month, a lot of people said they'd like to do it but couldn't do it last month because of childcare issues or holidays or fairs, things like that. So I've rescheduled it, and it's this Thursday. It's the one. I haven't got anything out with me. That was daft, wasn't it? It's all packed away in that box. Might have to rummage in a minute, but it's lots of ways to work with donuts. But I can show you some pictures. That's the best thing, isn't it? So that's Thursday. I got a really busy week this week. Exciting week. You know, my project I was talking to you about last week with at the local village, Bishop Wilton. I will be going there on Friday to spend the day absorbing the atmosphere and the village vibe so that I can design a collection for them. And you know, there's so many things that get thrown up when you're designing a collection, like, can I repeat this? Can I get these beads again? Can I you know, do these all tie in? Is it cohesive? Is there enough variety to suit lots of people? Young, old, people who like bold, people who like delicate. can it be translated into bracelets, earrings, necklaces, brooches, bag charms? There's so many things to consider. So it's a bit more of a challenge than I thought it would be. But is that the Gemstone Donuts and Copper Wire Workshop? Yes, Joe, it is. Yeah. You're not fond of donuts? Donuts. You're not fond of donuts? I love a donut. I just think they're so versatile. Absolutely love them. It's embarrassing that my memory is not good these days. No, mine's awful, Nick. Honestly, I was thinking, I was looking at all these menopause, things that you get sort of bombarded with on. If you're a woman of a certain age and you're on Instagram or Facebook, you just get bombarded, don't you, with menopause things, anti-bloat things, ADHD things, and it's just like you're bombarded, and eventually you kind of think, oh, maybe I should get some of these. But yeah, I don't want to give in to it, but my brain is so foggy. They did, Sylv, but it didn't work. Some people, it worked for some people and not for others. So I said I would try and find a way. I think that Zoom might record it for me, but I'm not sure. That's why I'm unsure whether it'll work with Nick. But yeah, it was one of those ones where we tried to record it ourselves, but obviously it didn't work for some people. Joe, you prefer them with raspberry jam or custard? Yeah, I do like a custard donut. Took me a while to even consider trying one, but I do love one. Yeah, no, donuts, yeah, really, really versatile. But the one I'm doing this week is very, it plays with negative space and suspends the donuts in more chunky, modern designs. So it sort of plays with the donut in a different way, because donuts are very popular. So lots of people have done a variety of things with them. So I've tried to be a little bit different with what I'm offering with these donut designs. I'll show you. I'll try and show you anyway. It will be, where will my pictures be? They will be in WhatsApp, and then they will be in my little chat with Charmers Gems, won't they? So let's see if I can find something. If I do this, I'm gonna have to do this for a long time. No, let's go. Scroll. I'll find them in a minute. Because back when I was living in Pensford, so it's a while ago. I think I'm getting close. Closer. No. Oh yes, here we go. Did I? Let's see. Is it here? No. Is it here? Yes. Here we go. Sorry, just watching me scroll on my phone. So here's a few of the images. You can see them on my website. If you go into the workshop section, you can see the projects, but there's playing with the negative space like that. Looking at things like this. This is not the project, but we will go through that and the techniques that I show you. So this is one of the projects. Can you see that one? I get it where it's not got the light in it. There you go. There's one of the projects. So looking at more chunky textured wire, and then how to create these weaves with the negative space. And then this is the other project for the workshop. This one. So again, playing with that negative space and suspending them within frameworks. So that's what we'll be looking at on Thursday. So that's from 9:30 till 1. And where can you get them? Oh, what are we? Morning, Joe. Before I forget, there is an app you can download called Google Lens, and you take a photo of something, those twisted tubes you were looking for, and it brings lots of different images. Oh, right, Lynn. I have got Google Lens. I never thought of using it like that. You'd like to try the pink one? Yeah, it's a nice. So the pink one and the Jasper one are the ones I'm doing. You'd like to do the donut workshop? Cool. Okay, well, it's ready. It's ready to book. There's already a few spaces gone on that one, so have a look. Obviously, it's running Thursday morning, so do book on if you want to. Still, get me donut at the ready. In fact, Sylv, you are Oda workshop, aren't you? So I can just send you the information if you want to do that one. Don't buy it. I'll send you the information rather than waiting for that one that didn't go ahead to come again. You might as well have that one in place. So just message me if you want me to do it that way, and I can. Yeah, thanks, Lynn. I might try and Google Lens it. I have been sent some links to them, and Sil sent me some links as well, and I have found some. Unfortunately, they're really quite expensive for what they are. So I'm going to hang out, and I've also had an idea of how to make some myself. So if I manage to do that, I'll let you know. I have you a link on Messenger for some of those twisted tubes too. Oh, okay. I'll have a look. Yeah, you will do that. All right, Sylv, I will do that. I'll do that in a minute then. Send you that link, and then it's ready and you've got it. You don't have to go through that process again, and then we're square. I was just thinking, make some. Yeah. So you can buy, like, I think the only tube I've found so far in long lengths is aluminium. So I'm not sure if I like the texture, but I might have a go and see what happens. Just because, for 10, I think it was £10. That's like £1 each for a little tube, which makes your jewellery very expensive, more expensive than the gemstones. So, yeah, so I'll look on a bit further. I did buy, where are they? I bought on Amazon the other day this pack. I'll show you. This little pack here. You can see that it's got, these are all straight ones, but there's all different sizes because I have a commission in for this cube, and I've been racking my brains how to make this cube to the spec that the person wants, and I figured actually making the cube out of tubes would be the best idea. But then they had these long ones, so let's have a look, see if they will twist. So what you'd have to do is fill them with a wire first, because otherwise they will just, and then I need to get the wire out. Oh, it's worth a shot, isn't it? So I'm just going to grab them and see. I think because these are steel, they're probably not going to, no, they're not going to twist. No, they didn't twist. In fact, that might have just gone into my coffee. Oh no, it's not, it's just here. No, it doesn't twist. No, these are like steel tubes, I think. Yeah, that doesn't work. But I'll think on it a bit more. The other idea was is to just make some with wire, flatten the ends, punch a hole, and instead of having tubes that you spread through, just do them as a rosary link. I don't think you get the same movement, but anyway, but thank you all for trying and investigating on my behalf. It's really, really helpful. But yeah, I'm going to make some cubes in a bit out of these and see if it works. I've got a few commissions on today, so I won't be doing a Charmers show tonight. I'm waiting for a new delivery of gemstones. So and I'm working on something, but I'm not quite there yet for these. These take a little bit more thought and process, and the tutorial will be a bit longer, and so I need a bit more time to prep for this one. But these are these gorgeous little like clover slices, you know, like I mean, they're lovely, but they're not drilled, so they are cabochon. And so this is in progress. So I'm just doing like a sort of ad hoc weave pattern, and then attaching, claw setting the clovers in as I go. These are like little flowers on here. So I'm almost there. My plan is to film the next part so they can see the process, and then I will bring them to you in a show. But they're going to have to go on hold for now, because they've taken a lot of trial and error to try and make something that I can teach and demonstrate. But the rings turned out quite nice, actually. So little prong set ring with the clovers, and we have these in lots of different material. So we've got the malachite, shell, blue lace agate, tiger's eye, black agate. Yeah, so my hair's really annoying me today. Don't know what's going on. Black agate, all sorts. So lots of material, but I just need a bit more time. So I'm not doing a show this evening, and I will have a new delivery of gemstones as well. Hopefully today, because it was sent out on Saturday. So I have lots of new things. So I'm just going to take some time to think on what I'm going to bring next with Charmers in terms of design ideas. It is on trend right now, Nikki. It really is. And it's, but you know, unless you're a smith, really easy to use to do. But of course, I don't do much smithing, and it's certainly not something I want to demonstrate at my level. You know, I think I'm not at the level for demonstrating and teaching. I think you need a professional. So although I can make some things, I've done this bit of silver bezel on one of them, I'm not confident to teach that. I do know where my skills end. Yeah, so but they are so lovely, and you can, you know, do a very simple prong set. I just didn't think it was quite inspiring enough. So maybe I'm just overthinking it, and I should just leave it to your imagination. But I'd like a few more things to inspire you with. So no show this Monday night with Charmers. Hey Jane. But on your phone, press Google on the right-hand side. There are two images, a microphone and a square. Press the square. You can then take a photo of what you want to identify. Hope this is clear. Yeah, Linda, I definitely can do it. I don't know if anybody else uses it. I use it a lot to identify bugs and things like that. When we had that tussock moth in the shed, we identified that with the Google lens. There's all sorts. When I was out walking the dog the other day, I was identifying fungus. That was really cool, because obviously it's that time of year where all the fungus is coming up, which is lovely. So yeah, well, what was I saying anyway? Yeah, lots of things this week. So I have got the Bishop Wilton thing on consultation on Friday. What else have I got? I've got another job in for reconfiguring jewelry. I've done quite a bit of that over the last couple of days. People saying, oh, do you think you could put this together? I've lost a few beads, or and so I've done some lovely ones, and it's a lovely lady called Ruth, Dr. Ruth. She's a local historian, and she loves her gemstones, and she came in with a necklace that had broken, and her mum had bought it for her, and it was a mix of different gemstones. Very hard to imagine how it went together in the first place, but I spent some time reconfiguring it. I added a few extra. She gave me a bit of license to add a few extra things in, and I created something. And when I saw her wear it the other day, I was just so, what a lovely feeling it was. It's lovely to know that she was now able to wear this necklace again. I've also reset some stones in some earrings for her, which was nice. And now she's brought me another one, which is all lapis lazuli. lots of different bits of lapis. Again, not quite sure how it goes together. Hi, Tony. I'm not quite sure how it went together in the first place. And there's a few bits missing. They were layout bars, you know, when you get like a layout of cut bars. But there's a few missing. So I'm going to have to do a bit of work to try and get them back in into play. Good morning, Claire. But that's really exciting. So I've got that on today as well. And the other thing I've got on is something I've never done before. But the lady in question just would not take no for an answer and said she is very prepared to take a punt on my skills. So I'm absolutely terrified because I am working on repairing a 9-carat gold charm bracelet today. So in this little box down here, I have bought gold solder and specialist gold cleaning things, a separate file. Obviously, I can't use my old files on gold. So I'm very nervous. But I suppose if you don't try and somebody's prepared to put their trust in you to do your best, then I suppose I would just have to try and live up to that trust. Yes, oh my God, Nick. It's it's a scary prospect. But she wants it done and can't get a jeweler to do it in the time frame she needs. So very insistent that I do it and I take on the job. Very hard to say no. After saying no 3 times and then still having to do it. So anyway, I've got this job, and so that's what I'm going to have a go at. Considering I've never worked with gold. The most I've done with gold is put a pendant onto a gold chain. That's it. So, oh, Nick, I hope so. I mean, at the end of the day, if it goes wrong, it's just a gem ring. Do you know what I mean? That's what I keep thinking. It's just a gem ring. You can buy another gem ring if it really goes wrong, you know, and then send it somewhere to get it done properly. But yeah, I'm gonna have a go. So a little bit nervous, but that's my first job when I finish talking with you guys today. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice having all of these little projects. And then I'm going to be working on creating a autumn display in the shop for the jewellery. So I put a collection of autumn things in. So I'll be going through all my jewellery, trying to find a nice cohesive blend of autumn North jewellery to put out. Yeah, get that over with first. That's what I'm going to do next, because I just cannot think about it anymore. I've just got to get it done. You've watched a few YouTube videos about it. It should be easier than silver. Well, that's what I'm thinking, Nick. That's what I'm thinking. I've been obviously watching lots of YouTube tutorials, and I think I'm just overthinking it. I think it's just probably quite simple. I've got the right materials. So yeah, we'll see. I'll let you know how it goes. And then I got a new medium to try out, which I'm not going to tell you about until I've had a go and told you about, but that's exciting too. So Chris has said, you'll do the shop. As much as I like this week, I am free to play and experiment and discover all these new this new technique that I want to try. And if it works and if I like the results, then it's amazing, because it will enable me to do all the projects that I've always wanted to do but can't find the right components. So I'll be able to make my own. So very exciting. You've started making Christmas earrings, Claire. Ready to start doing craft fairs again? Yes, that's another thing I got to get doing, because you know, the jewelry does go well in the shop, and so I need to be offering that. Nick, do you have the you do have the best hubby? Oh, I do. He's very, very good, very supportive. And he also knows that my mind is very busy at the moment, and I probably am better just out the way. You're doing Halloween? Yeah. I've just fished out all the old Halloween stuff, getting that ready. I can't wait to decorate the shop. make it all Halloweeny. Got loads of ideas, and there's such great kids in the village. I can't wait for them to come in and be excited. So yeah, it's very, very exciting. You're still rocking the fairy vibe. Yes, Jane. Well, fairy is not just for one season, is it? It's for every season. You love Halloween. Yeah, I do as well. I do as well. I can't wait to get cracking on that. But at the same time, there's so many other things. You could think Halloween and Christmas so close together. Like, how do you sort of proportion your time to make it work? Isabel. Hi, Isabel. You're on Halloween too? Definitely doesn't. Yeah, it definitely isn't just for one season, is it, Jane? And your picture of the girls with their circlets on was so lovely. They really look so happy with putting something like that on your head just makes you happy, doesn't it? You know, if you ever put a tiara or a headdress or anything like that, it just makes you like really happy. I don't know why. Why is that? You're going to go dark fairy vibe. You're off to the DIY shop. Got to fix something before I can play with jewellery making today. Oh, I know. I've got to tidy up before I can get my torch out because I can't really use the torch with all of this around me. Safety first, everybody. Clear space with no, as few fire hazards as possible. You love all the fairy stuff. I know. It's nice, isn't it? But I made this piece of hair. It's driving me nuts. I made a headdress this weekend for the 1920s thing, and it was really nice. I do you remember when on Jewellery Maker I used to cut the ribbons and burn them around the edges to make flowers? I did that with some ribbon that matched sort of my outfit. And I did have like a flapper style outfit, you know, like black glam 1920s gold, black and gold, feather boas and all that. And then I decided it was a bit too, I don't know, wasn't joyful enough for a bit too dark and evening for a daytime afternoon tea. So Chris and I went to the charity shops on Friday, and I found a perfect long pleated skirt. I thought that's ideal. And I teamed it with a floaty top and long tassely necklace. But then I just thought, I need a head thing. So then I made the chain head thing with the flowers on the side and put my hair in a bun on the side. You know, it's quite authentic. And I just loved it. I just loved wearing it. The only thing was because I'd made this band and I'd made it to fit my head with elastic around the back. So because obviously it needs to stay still, otherwise the chain would flop. So it made it kind of not tight, but you know, close to my head. But then I put a fake hair piece in and I used the band to put it under. So I put it under the band and stuck it here and pinned it in with pins. Looked great, but of course it made the band a bit tighter. So we came back in the sort of afternoon to take the dog out and stuff. I took this headband off because I was like, oh God, I need to take this headband off. I took it off and the chain had made imprints in my forehead. And Chris said it looked like I'd been run over by a motorbike. So then I thought I can't put it back on. So then I quickly made another one with a sequin band and stuck some peacock feathers in and went with that because I just couldn't put it back on. A dented head person, yeah. It was real really dented in. It was great. I could have just sort of painted in the lines and it would have looked like I still had it on. But yeah, it was lovely to put it on and wear it. You just feel so glamorous, don't you? And you've got flowers in your hair or something like that. It was great. It was really great. And everybody loved it. They were like, oh, where did you get that? So I made it. Yeah. So I missed a trick though, because I could have done some workshops doing those, couldn't I? Never mind. Christmas workshops coming up in the village. Very good, Joe. Very good. As it turns out, I'm very impressionable. Right, has anybody got any more votes for me anyway? Any more votes? What would you like? What demonstration would you like today? was very good. It was very good. A 6 for Joe, a 9 for Jane. 6 and a 9, a 6 for Tony. Who else is going to give me a number? A 6 for Silver. Ooh, 6 is popular today. Any more? Any more votes? 10 for Barbara, 6 for Leslie. Well, I think we know what's in the lead. You'll go for a 6 as well, Lynn. Yeah. I think we're going to have quite a clear winner by the looks of it. Everybody's on a 6. So I better go now. Number 7, catch up for Linda. Looking forward to Thursday's workshop. Yes, Linda, me too. Yeah, can't wait to get my donuts out. And the hammer. Any more for any more? Let's just have a little look what's in number 6. Oh. This is one that Silver reminded me of a few weeks ago. So that's good. Right, while I'm waiting for you, let's have a go. Let's have a go at doing this. You get a bonus tutorial as well. Then I'm going to get some clear thread. What's that? Is that fireline? Oh, that's fireline. Don't want fireline. I want a clear monofilament. That's what I'm looking. That's the word I'm looking for. Let's have a go at doing these cubes. You probably know how to do them, but this commission is very specific. It's about, I think it's about somebody's transition in life, a big life change. And so I think the symbolism in it is very important, but you know, for us that doesn't matter too much. Just the technique of how we go about it. So I'm going to get this fire line and see if these tubes work in the way I'm hoping they will. That carrot, ready. Right. So I've got Linda on the workshop. Who else have I got on workshop on Thursday? Linda, Abby, Sylvia. Not sure who else. Without looking, let's go. I'm going to go with this size. I think this might be a bit big, but basically, this lady would like a cube hung diagonally. So I was looking for cube gemstones. Cube. Swarovski, you know, I want an AB coated or something like that because rainbow's important as well. But I couldn't find anything that was corner drilled, and she really desperately wants it to be corner drilled because it has to hang in a certain way. So the symbolism of it is obviously very important. So the only thing I could think of is if I make a cube and then ideally we would like to set a pearl in the center of it. So, or a rainbow coated gemstone or something to dangle in the center. So I thought, well, if I make a cube frame, and I tried it out of wire, but it was just too bulky. So this is possibly my idea of problem solving this issue, to make something that looks like a cube. So basically I'm doing a ladder weave with with these spacer tubes. I think this is going to be too big, but we'll get the idea and know if it'll work. And maybe monofilament might be a bit flimsy and not allow it to have the sort of rigidity that it needs to have. But again, it's all problem solving, isn't it? It's all just experimenting and finding a way. But these are a great way of creating like hollow spaces that you can then trap something inside. So that's that. That's 3. We want this one is our last rung. That one in there. So can you see what I'm doing here? I'm taking a thread either direction through them to create this ladder. And then the last one, we will join the first one in. So let's get the last 2 on. One there. And one this side. Like this and like this. And then take these tails now, instead of adding a final rung, take it through the first rung. And that should pull it all together into a cube. Let's try. Yes, it has made a cube. There we go. So I suppose if I just take that thread round and round through a few times, that might help make it a bit more rigid, although I might have to do this with wire. But you can see I could have, before I pull that in tight, I could have trapped, you know, a big bead in there, something, you know, something bigger than the holes anyway, and it would then sit in. Or I can then use a jump ring maybe to dangle something in that shape. But yes, by Jove, I think I may have nailed it and found the solution for this lady who's desperate for this pair of earrings to be made. Okay, well, there you go. There's that. Now I'll get on with the real one. It will be like we did for those fluorite. Yes. Yeah, it is. But that one I made sort of more as a diamond shape, didn't I? But yeah, exactly that. They're just a really useful way of building, aren't they? Because they give you the structure that you need. So yeah. Okay, well, that's worked. You could use bugle beads. Yeah, absolutely. And I did it in bugle beads first, but the corners weren't sharp enough. They just weren't sharp enough. There was just something, and I tried then to bead into the corners, but of course, because you've got 3 things for it to go into, 3 holes, they just didn't sit where I wanted them to. So I wanted something a bit finer, and this is actually ideal. So I just need to work on it being a bit more rigid, and it definitely needs to be with the smaller ones for the design, but we're getting there. I'm getting there, and I'm pleased with those. So they are a little bit stainless steel looking rather than silver, but I think I can work with that. I can make that work. Okay, well, there you go. Right, what's the brief for the dangle inside? So the design, I have lots of scraps of papers with it, but she would like a circle, about a 50p piece size, and within that circle she would like a cube hanging diagonally, you know, on the diagonal, and then incorporate pearls, because that's the birthstone, and incorporate there's another stone associated with the time, I can't remember, I've got it written down, but the time of this transitional change is also going to be represented with a birthstone, but like more like a rebirth, you know, and that is to go in the center here. But we don't mind which way round. So I've got license, so long as it includes all of these 3 things, I can then configure it. But the important thing is the cube within the circle, and that's the important thing, and the size. So yeah, so now I can play and start putting this together in a way. So rainbow needs to be incorporated somehow, rainbow colors or something like that. But yeah, it's a nice interesting design brief, so it's fun to work on. But there you go, that's it. Right then, number 6 is still the winner. Wow, it's quite precise. I hope you can show us after. Yeah, I'll be able to show you, I'm sure. I mean, I don't know the full story, but I know it's very important, you know, from the conversations I've had with this lady. It's obviously very important. But, you know, that story is not mine to tell, and I don't know it fully. So, but it's very interesting. Are you doing the pink make you showed earlier in the workshop? Yes, Joe, I am. It's the pink donut with the half halo and the sort of tapered section. I don't know where it is. I have to try it. I have to dig them out. I think they're in my display box that I took to a show the other day. Okay, so number 6 is this, and this was something Sylv reminded me I'd done a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh, thanks for that, Sylv. I completely forgot about that technique. And this is lovely. So if you aren't all that confident with wire work, or you want something you can do really speedy and is effective, then this is a great one, a great flower to do. And this is what I did on my taster workshop with a group of ladies in Driffield a few weeks ago, and they loved it, and they all made either a pendant or earrings, and you know, really enjoyed the process, and it gave them a nice sense of achievement that they'd done it. So whether this is one that you want to replicate and use, or whether this is one that you want to do with friends and family to make them feel engaged in what you do, because it's really good, quick, easy make with lots of satisfaction. So what you need is, you want a 0.8 wire, really. 1 mil is a bit tricky, but if you're very used to working with wire, then 1 mil will be fine. But I would recommend a 0.8. Of course, I don't have any on my desk, so I'm going to go with a 1 mil because it's in the black as well, so it's really easy. I love to do flowers in my jewelry. Yes, Nikki, this really work for you, and you can scale this down as well if you want to for your more petite pieces. And I think this is a great one for you, Jane, as well, for sort of adding a bit of your decoration to your headdresses and your sort of fairy things. And of course, once you've got this framework, there's lots of things you can do with it. So if you use fantasy film, if you ever use that, you know, you dunk this in and you dunk the petals in, and it sort of fills them with a film. You can do that. You could fill them with wire weaving if you wanted to, or there's a dipping resin now, isn't there? Have you seen that? I haven't had a go with it yet, but maybe Claire has had a go. But a dip, you dip into resin, and it gives you that, it fills the space. So lots of opportunities with those. Right, so I'm not going to cut the wire from the reel, but you need probably about 80-90 centimeters roughly. Okay, and then you're going to use your pliers, but you're going to use the handles. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to do a figure of 8 through the handles. So leave a tail. So leave yourself a tail of about 5 to 8 centimeters. So take let me get a different color plier handle. Okay, I'm going to go with this. And now I am scaling up. So obviously you can go with the smaller pliers and thinner wire, but I'm just doing this for the ease of being able to see it. So put the wire diagonally through the jaws of your pliers, and make sure that when you do this, you are over the, if you've got curved handles, make sure you're not doing it below the curve, because otherwise it'd be difficult to get it off. Okay, so go just above where the curve is. And then you're going to do a figure of 8 around the handles. So figure of 8 like this. Make sure that the wires don't cross over one another, they stay alongside. So figure of 8 through, and we want to do this so that we've got 3 loops on each side at least. Okay, so you've got three loops that side, 3 loops that side, and a tail there and a tail here. Okay, so that's what we got. Then I'm just going to trim this wire off now that I've got it. So I've got a similar size tail on the end of each. Okay, and then we're just going to press the middle together. So press the middle together like that. And if you want to, you can take this off the pliers now, or you can just use one of your tails to bind around the center before you remove it. Okay, so just bind that around, take it off, and then use the other tail to bind the other way as well. So you've got a tail on each side and like this bow shape in the middle. All right, and then we're just going to spread them out. So if you take the top and bottom one from each side and pull round like that, and then do the same the other side, pull round like that, and just spread them out evenly. Spread them out like that. Okay, doesn't look great at the moment, but it will. Okay, so then we've got one tail at the top, one tail at the bottom. And if you feel it needs a bit more securing, you can always take that round one more time. But you don't want to bind too many times around the middle, otherwise you'll end up with a big gap between each side. So just keep that in mind. Bind as a few times as you can get away with. Okay, so like this. And then we're going to give them a bit of shape. So I'm going to take my chain nose pliers. I'm going to go just off, I'm going to position the edge of my plier at the center of the petal. Okay, so you look like you're just off center, like that. Okay, give it a pinch, pull and twist, and then pull it back out again. So you now got a bit of a point on the end of your petal there. This is much easier with a thinner wire. Pull and twist, and then splay it out again. Pliers in, pull and twist, and then splay it out again. Pull and twist, splay it out, pull and twist, splay it out. And obviously how you do this will change the sort of shape, the style of the petal, and giving you a different type of flower, you know. So where you do this makes a difference, and how wide you pull them out or how narrow you keep them, how many petals you have, because of course you can do as many petals as you like, really. Okay, and then you splay them a bit more, and once you've got the shape you're happy with, you can then sort of do some work on the centers. Now, to keep it nice and tidy, what I did is I took this tail here and spiraled it to the center, and I did the same on the other side. So whichever way the flower flips, oh, it takes the same. Whoever that was buying a workshop, thank you very much. That's the first time I've heard that sound. That's nice. So in terms of the size of the spiral you want in the middle, probably that's a bit too long. So I'm probably going to chop it down to about 4 or 5 centimeters, and then take the end of my round nose pliers and create a nice tight spiral. I love that sound. It's the first time I've heard it, Nick. I think it was you who told me about it, and I've never heard it before. My phone's usually on silent, so I haven't heard it. So let's roll this in. Okay, and then if it's off center, just tip it, turn it over, and push it into position at the center of your flower. There we go. So you've got a spiral there, holding that all together, and then we can do the same on the back. So I might go for a bit bigger on this one. Spiral. Once you've done your first sort of spiral round, then you can use your chain nose pliers to hold across the spiral and then use the rest of it like a lever to continue that spiral round. And with your pliers, you can see when you've got that held, let's see if I can get that to focus. When you've got that held in your pliers, you get this gap here, which enables you to pull the wire through it, keeping them nice and flat as you create the spiral. So it's a good way to make sure it stays nice and neat. So then just roll that into position there. So that was about 6 centimeters. That's made a bigger, probably a better spiral actually on that side. About 6 centimeters of wire. Oh, that's all right, Mem. Nice to see you. How are you doing? See you, Leslie. Enjoy your hot tub. How's your throat, Mem? Still saying hello. Right, so there you go. So there's your flower. And then you can make it even more realistic or more sort of, I don't know, organic looking just by creating a few bends on it. So if you bend the petals upwards with your finger and then use your finger and thumb on sort of thumb on the tip and finger along the back of the petal and just push like that, you get a bit of a curve. Okay, so if you do that with all of them, up and push back, up and push back, they just tend to, giving them that bit of shape, just makes them a little bit more authentic as a flower. Okay, now on their own, they don't look like anything special, but you start grouping them together and they look really lovely, or putting other elements around them. They look really lovely. So it's a nice quick technique that you can do just to add a bit of embellishment to your projects, and also very nice and easy. And of course, you don't have to use your pliers. If you want to make them smaller, you can use a jig to do this. So if you've got a wire jig, you can use any two parallel sort of bars or parallel, I don't know, bell makers, maybe two parallel mandrels to create this. So whatever size you want, really, just need to set it up so that you've got it so you can repeat them. But you can see how quick they are, how easy they are, and yeah, and they just make nice little embellishments. So hopefully that's given you a bit of an idea to have a go with this week and have a play. And that's your Monday Mojo demo. I'm having a swig of my coffee before I put the camera back. I'm back. That's it. Hi, Sonia. Even I can do that. There you go, Tony. I was already going there. I have an Olympus jig coming out of the drawer right now. Yes, Nick. A very nifty way to make flowers. Yeah, it was Sylv reminded me. And she said on one of the very first workshops that I did where she attended, or at my first workshop at Spoil Rotten Beads years and years and years ago, apparently I did this quick flower technique and I could not remember. And then she dug out what she'd done and then I remembered, and it was the ideal timing actually, because it was just the right project for me to do at this taste today the other day. So so thanks for that, Sylv, and then hopefully it's worked for you guys too. Hi Sonia, I haven't got auto translate on, which is a shame. So but hi. Right there, what time is it? I think that was the 11 o'clock bell just went over the road. It must be. Yeah, look at that. It's a minute early. But I'm going to get going, and hopefully I will see. I don't know who Who was that who just made my my phone go cha-ching? Let's have a look. Oh, it was Joe. Yay. I'll see you on Thursday, Joe. I'll see you on Thursday, Sylv. I'll see Abby on Thursday. And who else will I say? Possibly Isabel. Nikki, maybe. Sylv, Linda, Nikki. Don't know if Jane's in on that one. Anyway, it'd be lovely to see whoever's there. And there's still 5 spaces left. So feel free to book on. I'll well, you know how to get there, but just in case, gemmacrow.com/workshops, and you can see there what I've got coming up for the future. If I don't see you before, I will see you next Monday. And also keep an eye on Facebook. I might try and pop in, do a live on Mojo on Friday from the venue. Depends on how many people are there and what the consultation's like. But I'd quite like to take you on a little walk around the village to see it, so that you can sort of see what might be inspiring me. But yeah, and if anybody else is doing anything similar after I talked to you last week, then I'd love to know, and love to know how your ideas are coming on with that as well. Other than that, have a lovely rest of the week. Get creative, make some flowers. And oh, all my comments have all gone. You're welcome. Good luck with the gold. Yes, thank you. I need it. Oh, thank you, Sonia. The creations that I would love to see a workshop on. It's a bee. Oh yes, Nick, I did put that one on once. I have done that one, but yeah, I'll think on it. I have got a folder, like a presentation folder with all projects in for potential workshops. So I just have to work through them. Right. Bye, ma'am. Ta-ta for now, Isabel. And thank you too, Nikki. Right. I'll see you all very. Have a look, see if I can find that workshop, see if I can do it. But I will try. Right. See you later, everybody. Bye.